Hello viewers, subscribe on Bullseye Movies for more recaps. This episode opts for a temporary disagreement that resolves too easily, leaving viewers with the sense that the show is stalling rather than advancing its narrative. This hesitation undermines what could have been a powerful turning point in the season. The holiday setting, or lack thereof, only adds to the disappointment. As the last episode before Christmas, the mid-season finale feels strangely disconnected from the season it's meant to represent. There are few references to the holidays in the first half of the episode, and what little festive atmosphere exists feels superficial at best. A stronger approach would have been to weave Christmas elements throughout both halves of the episode, creating a sense of continuity and emotional cohesion. Instead, the two halves feel disjointed, as though they were originally meant to air separately but were later combined out of necessity rather than creative intention. The result is an episode that feels rushed and poorly curated, as if the series simply ran out of time and needed to cram two unrelated stories into a single slot. There's no clear thematic connection between the halves, and the lack of continuity makes the episode feel scattered rather than purposeful. Typically, episodes that feature the Cooper family are among the show's strongest. Missy, in particular, has often been underutilized, and Georgie and Mandy's first marriage has occasionally made up for that by giving her sharper dialogue and more prominent storylines. Unfortunately, this episode doesn't do her justice. While Missy does appear, her presence feels more like an afterthought than a meaningful contribution to the narrative. Given how compelling her character can be, this feels like a missed opportunity. Episodes centered on family dynamics usually offer rich emotional and comedic material, but this one fails to capitalize on that potential. There was also a glimmer of hope, albeit a slim one, that this episode might include an update on Sheldon. While it was always unlikely, given that Ian Armitage's return would have been major news, the possibility of checking in on Sheldon or even seeing younger versions of his future Big Bang Theory friends was tantalizing. That expectation ultimately goes nowhere, which makes its brief teasing all the more frustrating. Even a passing mention or a small nod to Sheldon's current life could have added emotional depth and continuity to the broader universe these shows inhabit. Another storyline that feels underdeveloped is the conflict between the mothers over CC. On paper, this premise is far more in line with what Georgie and Mandy's first marriage does best. The idea of competing parenting philosophies clashing over a young child has all the ingredients for sharp humor and character-driven chaos. Instead of fully leaning into that conflict, the episode waters it down with indecision about holiday plans. The back and forth about whether to go away for Christmas lacks the bite and specificity that could have made it truly entertaining. A more focused exploration of the mothers' rivalry would have been both funnier and more thematically consistent with the series. Reagan Reverd continues to excel as Missy, bringing her signature snark and oversized teenage attitude to every scene she's in. In this episode, Missy feels even sharper and more sarcastic than usual, which is one of the few consistent highlights. One particularly enjoyable moment involves Missy listening in on another phone line while Mary calls Georgie to complain about her behavior. The visual and comedic timing of this scene perfectly capture Missy's rebellious streak and her knack for inserting herself into adult conversations. Her desire to go to the beach instead of accompanying the family on a tour of Sheldon School is also very much in character. While Mary treats this preference as problematic, it's actually relatively tame compared to some of Missy's past behavior. Wanting a beach vacation rather than an academic pilgrimage is hardly scandalous, especially for a teenager. In fact, this subplot could have been used to further explore Missy's feelings about living in Sheldon's shadow. Her resistance to visiting his school might reflect deeper insecurities or resentment, but the episode doesn't take the time to unpack that possibility. Overall, the mid-season finale of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage struggles with tone, pacing, and cohesion. It's an episode filled with potential but weighed down by structural missteps and an overabundance of conflict. While drama is an essential part of the show's identity, it works best when balanced with humor and emotional payoff.